Hello everyone! In this video, we will continue to examine topic 5.4, the magnetic effects of electric currents, and in particular, we will continue to examine the magnetic force on a moving charge. So, in the last video, we introduced that there was another form of our magnetic force law, in truth, a more fundamental form, that relates the magnetic force on a moving charge to the magnitude of that charge, the velocity of that charge, and the strength of the field in the direction perpendicular to the motion of the charge. So just like with the current carrying wire, you want to be able to handle being asked questions about different orientations of the motion of the charge. So to apply the right-hand rule here, you put your thumb in the direction of the velocity, your pointer or index finger points in the direction of the magnetic field, and that will give you the magnetic force upwards. What happens, for example, if the velocity is down the page? Well, thumb in the direction of the velocity, pointer finger into the page gives a magnetic force to the right. Likewise, if the charge is moving down the page and the magnetic force is to the right, then that means, the magnetic field is to the right, then the magnetic force is out. And if your thumb is into the page, that is, if the moving charge is moving into the page and the magnetic field is down, then that force will be to the left. The only subtlety, so you want to make sure you've got this in the same way that you have the force on a current carrying wire. The only subtlety is to handle what happens if the charge is negative rather than positive. If it's negative rather than positive, then the outcome of the right-hand rule is simply reversed. There are a lot of ways to handle this, actually. If the charge is negative, I suppose you could simply use the left-hand rule rather than the right-hand rule with the same rules. But what I do is I recommend applying the normal right-hand rule and then right at the very end, reversing the direction. So what I do is in my head, I say, okay, my thumb is in the direction of the velocity, my magnetic field is into the page, and that gives me, and the right-hand rule gives me a force upwards, but our charge is negative, and so that will invert the direction of the force here. But it's important to note, you only need to reverse once. So if the charge is negative, you're only changing the direction right at the very end, or perhaps right at the very beginning, but not both. So have a little practice with this particular example. Couple of examples here that you'll want to take a look at relating to sort of the force on moving charges and the current carrying wires.